Welcome into the program, everybody. This is Alabama Unfiltered Radio. I'm Scott Beason. It is a Wednesday, the 19th day of August in the year of our Lord, 2026. I hope you've had a great morning, and I hope the last 21 hours have gone well since we last visited. I'm here broadcasting to as many people, not only in the state of Alabama, but across the world, and we appreciate how many of you are listening from other places on the stream that comes out of News Talk 93.1 FM, the flagship of Scott Beason and Alabama Unfiltered Radio, and also over at YouTube, where you can find us and watch the sausage being made and be a part. You can listen to the program there as well. The number here, 1-800-289-9228, 1-800-289-9228. Sky, how are you this morning?
Fantastic.
Are you really?
Just glad to be here.
You have been in a very good mood since your vacation. It must have been the vacation that has made your days better.
It took away the grind.
Is that what it is?
I love the job. I love my work, but when you do it every day for year after year after year, and sometimes absence makes the heart grow fonder and all that.
That's what they say.
It just takes the grind out of it, and you're back to complete appreciation, so to speak.
Huh?
I think it's. I recommend it highly for everyone. If you haven't had a vacation in 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 years, go.
Right. Did you finally got to your number? 8 years?
Yeah, 8's the magic number.
I can't say that I've ever wanted a vacation from doing the program, but there's a reason for that, right? As you know, because even if I'm on vacation, I'm doing the program.
That is true. Let's unpack that for just a moment, because
I don't know if I want to.
Listeners may not completely understand what you mean when you say you're still doing the program when you're not actually on the air.
Right. How do you perceive it? Because I have my version of it, but you've been around long enough.
Sure. Well, this show, put it this way, the show sometimes continues after we're off the air.
Scott's like, Scott won't leave me alone. He keeps sending me stuff.
He'll call me up, oh, and I forgot to tell you this, or I forgot to, I meant to say that, but I'm like, okay, we'll get it tomorrow, man. It's another day.
Oh, unfortunately, that is.
It never stops.
That is very, very
it's
true.
It's true.
Well,
how does your family deal with this? I mean, like when y'all go on road trips, do you do a running commentary of?
I've learned to speak more quietly, and I just do it to myself.
Okay, well, my wife's, we're in the same business,
right?
Like you can't have the radio on with me around without getting a running commentary of.
Yes.
Well, this came out in 19 blah blah blah, and all this information, and sometimes she'll just be silent. And I'll say, "Aren't you fortunate to have somebody that she'll just kind of give me a sideways glance, like, oh yeah."
Yeah, I feel very fortunate, Scott. Very fortunate.
Yeah, that's the 800th time you told me about Led Zeppelin 2 and Whole Lot of Love.
Yeah.
So I'm really, really impressed.
It is very much like that, because there is I don't know. I mean, I feel like I could be a sports commentator as well. I would have to brush up, but when I go somewhere, even if it's the most mundane journey, like go to town just to pick up a pizza, there is a running commentary. I don't know why I don't do social media. Not that anyone would care, okay? But there's a running commentary on, I didn't think they made that car anymore. That's
the voice in your head, or is this actually?
Oh, it comes out. The voice in my head happens. That's how I've gotten myself in a lot of trouble many times through the years. Is letting the what runs across my my circuit board of my brain is attached straight to my mouth.
So unfiltered is not just a word; it's a reality.
It is definitional. No doubt about it. And I'll see somebody, I'm like, what in the world is wrong with, it's possibly they could, it looks like, maybe so. Did you notice that they, that back left corner of that car is crunched in. I bet I know why, because every time they turn, they cut the corner really, really close. And yep, there it is. Look, see the rim is scraped up too. I told you they hit it. They hit the curb all the time. Lori's like, what are you talking about? So I'm just
you got to remember to not pick it up right in the middle of your mental commentary. People really confuses them.
I was told that I'm okay unless I start responding to my conversation.
That's what I've heard.
That's when you're officially talking to yourself. If you have two different personalities that are in a discussion, I'm just doing a running commentary.
Okay, so there's no arguments going on.
No. I fully agree with myself. So there's
Most of the time,
there's no arguing.
Not always.
I might decide later on that I was wrong, but it usually doesn't happen that way. Brian Dawson is supposed to be in sometime today. Also, I think Ann Eubank is supposed to be in at some time today, unless she's on vacation. I can't remember. She's got another cruise at some point, but lots of stuff to do. Well, I mean, she's
living her life.
She likes the cruises, so that works out good. 1819 News has an article, and just want to make sure, check in, so y'all will be able to know whether or not your schools are one of the best schools according to U.S. News and World Report. Article by April Marie Fogel that you, like I said, you can find over at 1819 News. Also, it does have something about it. After reviewing more than 27,000 public high schools, the outlet ranked 293 Alabama schools. The top school in Alabama, according to U.S. News and World Report, is the New Century Tech Demo High School in Huntsville. I've never heard of that school before. It must be new because it's called New, but I think it's actually New Century. Brian Dawson has joined the studio in the program. I'll turn you up, then you can hear. How's that? Is that good?
Good, yeah.
It's very, very good. Yeah. Welcome in, Brian. How are you? Did you drive up?
Yeah, I need a helicopter.
Well, we'll see about getting you one of those.
Yeah,
I mean, surely there's a donor contributor that's got an old one, just laying around the house. I mean, the one I had, I just gave it away, or I would have given it to you. And
Thanks for thinking of me, Scott.
I didn't need it driving down here. It was a big hassle landing on top of the building. It's all kind of so close to the airport.
Yeah. No, but it was nuts, man. I left super early to get up here so I could be with you at the start of the show.
Right.
And I was just sitting on 65 looking at my speedometer at 0 for about 30 minutes. And I'm like, well, this is fun.
What happened? Did you get up there and there was nothing there? Or did you drive by a wreck when you?
No, it was just
typical Birmingham.
Yeah, the clogging of the veins.
Yeah.
Probably like my arteries.
If we expand 65 by 2 or 3 lanes all the way from here to the Gulf, it'll probably not be clogged up like that.
Let's get a road building company, and we'll make we'll make sure that the black the blacktop is
the
3
asphalt.
feet. Yeah, the asphalt
look,
is 3 feet
if
deep.
you and I get a road building company and we get the contracts, I am all for building roads everywhere. Ivy's interstate on the west side of the state. 65 can be expanded. I mean, I don't even know why we have 2-lane roads. If I was in the road building company, every road could be a 4-lane road.
Yeah, and we need bridges.
Oh, lots of bridges. I mean, sometimes we just need bridges when it's just dry land. Just build just a little hump.
If there's a puddle, I need at least a $50 million bridge right here.
Well, that's God, you got me sideways. I was talking about the school story, but since you're here, 1819 also has the story. And look, I don't know what we're going to do with it, but Barrymore is proposing that the new Mobile River Bridge be named after Donald Trump. The gateway to the Gulf of America, the Donald J. Trump Bridge. And I get the debate whether or not you name it after Donald Trump. Great, I'm fine with that. But are we really going to build a multi-billion-dollar bridge over Mobile Bay? And Sky had lived in different places before, and we looked up what the state of Florida said the replacement cost would be for the bridges from the mainland to Key West.
Yeah.
and the state of Florida just a few short years ago says to replace all those bridges would be less than we're going to build the bridge over Mobile Bay for.
Yeah. No, that's a tough one. And obviously they're wanting to make it a toll bridge. The tolls sound like they're really expensive. They're like $7, but they're like, well, if you're a resident, you can get this resident pass. And so what we're going to do is just rape all the other people that aren't residents.
Yeah.
And
The resident pass, you'll just get you'll just be
$5.50.
You'll just be slightly
slightly
rubbed the
less.
wrong way. We'll put it that way.
Yeah, no, it's a thing, and stuff is costing more. I realize that, but
Right.
I'm sure Florida factored that into their criticism, and so,
Right.
bro, who knows? Who knows? It's a mess.
We figured out, what was this guy? How many dollars a foot was this thing gonna be?
It was
Like
some ridiculous
$900,000 a foot or $600,000.
Well, it's because it's the Donald Trump bridge and they're making it of gold.
Oh, it's
Scott.
gonna be a gold. Yeah, absolutely.
That's what we finally figured out.
Yeah.
It's very big, very expensive, and one day you figure out you're paying for it
Yeah.
forever.
for many, many, many years. But let me get back to this school story before we really delve in with what Brian Dawson has been working on. Let's take a break first. Let's do that. That'll make Sky happy.
Yes.
Alabama Unfiltered Radio. We'll be right back. Back in, everybody. Alabama Unfiltered Radio. I am Scott Beason, Big Sky Mountain Mosley, making sure that everything goes right. Brian Dawson with me. Brian, so you've been doing some podcasting
My
lately.
thing, man. Yeah.
We talk about it on this program every day, trying to point some people over there to your show. But tell me about your most recent podcast.
Yeah, and I don't know if this ever happens to you, Scott, but sometimes I don't prepare. Sometimes I don't.
Wait, why are you laughing, Sky Mosley?
No, I'm sorry. I was looking at something on
Yeah.
Totally
And
unrelated.
I went out. I had a little vacation where I was able to go out to the Pacific Northwest and do some primitive camping, completely off grid.
Oh, really? Like,
Yeah.
well, tell me about that first.
Yeah,
So,
so,
like, y'all
yeah.
hiked out and did
Yeah.
something, not in an RV, because I don't know if I count that
I'm
as
talking
camping.
like primitive camping, like tents.
Campfire tent.
Yeah.
What water did you drink? Did you drink out of the creek with a life straw?
We
Or
did
you
have life straws in there. That was done, but it wasn't necessary. It was more
Okay.
like testing.
Okay.
Yeah, and we just had jugs of water that we brought.
The whole family.
No, it was supposed to be my son, and my son tore his meniscus, and so I ended up going with a bunch of my other friends that were already supposed to go.
You have other friends.
I know. Scott thought he was the only one.
Can't be many.
Yeah, and the list gets shorter with every podcast. Actually, Scott.
I bet. You'll be stuck with me before long.
But yeah, no, it was a great trip. We were surrounded by bears. We were literally fending off bears so that we could catch salmon. Like, it was the most incredible trip of a lifetime. It was off grid. It was amazing. But in order to get back to Alabama from said Pacific Northwest, I had to go through Seattle. And in Seattle, I had to go through TSA in Seattle.
Okay.
And just the Seattle airport period was a lot.
Because it's big, or it's just...
because of the homosexual advertisements everywhere.
Really?
and
Like what? Like, I don't
just,
know.
it was some drink, and it was in one they were like, I guess I don't
Drink
remember,
this, it'll make you gay, or drink it because you are gay.
or it'll make you more gay. I don't know what the thing was, but just advertisements making homosexuality look like it's the norm. You know what I mean? And like,
right.
it was just all over the screens, and it was purple-haired, pink-haired lesbians all over the place, and it was just a lot. And and if I had to sum up the airport, it would be broken English and burqas. And so you're talking about your airline workers,
Right.
you're talking about your airport employees, and then what inspired the podcast was a 45-minute wait. And this is a red-eye flight in Seattle, okay? So, like, should not be like Hartsfield Jackson at noon. And the line was this super long line, and I'm like, this is insane. How are they not moving us through here faster? It was interesting people, that you're in line with on a red-eye flight in Seattle, whatever. And then I get up to the TSA thing. I'd already gone through TSA earlier that day wearing the exact same thing.
Okay.
Because
And what
I had
are
to
you
switch
wearing?
Airlines.
I gotta get the whole story for the
Just
radio.
some
folks.
cargo pants, and I took my belt off, so the belt shouldn't have sent it off, whatever, and a T-shirt. And I had gone through TSA earlier that day.
Brian Dawson, what did the T-shirt say?
Nothing crazy.
No,
It was
didn't say
yeah.
put your trust in God, keep your powder dry.
No, it was something about remigrating all the Muslims. No, I'm just kidding. No, it did not say that. I'm not that. I'm not that dumb. But it was just a very vanilla T-shirt. You know, and I get up to the sensor where you got to put your arms above your head,
Right,
and it
right.
goes,
The cancer machine.
And I step out thinking I've already been through TSA today wearing this exact same thing.
Right.
It's not going to be an issue. And the guy grabs me, and again, the guy that grabs me is, anyway, we'll get to that.
Okay.
And he says, do you want to do this in private? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he goes, well, sir, your groin area lit up the sensor. And I was like, well, that's interesting. You know,
Right.
a lot of jokes there.
Yeah,
I'm not touching any
you can't,
of them.
yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, apparently it was the danger zone. And I'm like, well, when he goes, and by the way, you have to take your shoes off. And I'm like, okay. I said, didn't they just pass a law saying that you don't have to take your shoes off at TSA? He goes, yeah, but your groin lit up the sensor. You got to take your shoes off. And then this line, they're going to put my shoes back at the very beginning of the, you know, the assembly line that is going through the sensors or whatever.
We
So I'm
can't
gonna have to
just
sit
put
there
it
for-
right
yeah.
through right there
Yeah,
with
and
you.
so I'm going to have to sit for another 15 or 20 minutes waiting
For your shoes.
on them to look at my shoes, you know. And I'm like, how are my shoes? And so I'm, you know, and so what the guy basically said is like, okay, sir, because your groin lit up the sensor, I'm going to have to rub you down
Right.
in that area.
Uh-huh.
And asked if I wanted it in private or public, and I'm like, neither, and that
Yeah.
wasn't an option.
No.
And so
Is he like, okay, this guy's
more-
starting to be belligerent
Well,
because
so-
he says neither.
Yeah, well, yes, and
Right.
so now the more frustrated I got, the more blue suits showed up because they see this big guy who's not
Right.
wanting to cooperate, and I was outnumbered. I was outnumbered. The only way to get through this was to let the guy just go ahead and rub my crotch.
Right.
That was the only way out of the situation, Scott.
That's
it's
astounding.
public or private, and I said, you know what, we're going to do this in public.
Really?
Yeah,
So
I said,
everybody can see.
everybody can see it, and that was I wasn't. This was new to me. I've been through a lot of TSA lines, and I've never had this happen. And so, you know, I felt a little bit violated, you know, a little bit whatever. But as I looked around and I looked at the TSA agents, you know, the thought that came to mind was, these guys look a lot more like the people who hijacked the planes on 9/11 than the people who should be stopping the hijackings.
Right.
And it reminded me of, you know, God, I guess this would have been 13 or 14 years ago. I'd just gotten out of prison, and we had to go to Denver International Airport. This was in Colorado. We had to go through the secure area by the tarmac in order to go pick up donated food for this halfway house that I was in. And I'm like, man, they're never going to let me through. Super
Right.
secure area, Denver International Airport, tarmac. And I'm like, I guess they go and pick up food here all the time, so it's not going to be an issue or whatever. But I'm like, okay, this is super secure area. And the dude who comes out to get our IDs, his name tag, he had the little, you know, the credentials or whatever,
Right.
and his name was Muhammad.
Yeah. And
This
you're
is,
like,
this is
okay.
not an exaggeration. That was the first time I kind of began to notice it, right? And so there's a stand-up comedian who did a great bit on this, and I played it in my podcast, where he was like, you know, airports these days, and he goes into the thing, and he's like, you know, and they tell you, they're like, if you see something, say something. He's like, but I'm the a-hole.
Right.
Because I go up to the Delta, you know, the Delta desk, and I'm like, hey, I want to report some suspicious activity. And they're like, oh my God, what's going on? He's like, everyone who works here is a Muslim. And he's like, you know, 25 years ago, they hijacked planes and flew them into buildings, and now they're looking at me like, hey, buddy, what's in the bag? He's like, that's an interesting trajectory for them. That's all I'm saying. And he goes into, you know, woke women pilots, and I have another experience with that where I was flying to D.C., and I get on a plane, you know, and there's no eject button on the plane, like, you know, like
No, you're
stuck.
in
stuck.
there. You're right.
And we're taxiing to the runway, and the woke white woman with another woke white woman flying. And again, statistically speaking, it's more dangerous to have this as a setup as a pilot. Statistically speaking, you know, I wouldn't say that. I think I know lots of great female pilots, or whatever you're supposed to say to not get labeled a misogynist here. And again, it's like just fly the plane. Like, I don't care. Like, you're obviously a certified pilot. You're gonna get this thing where it needs to go. Whatever. Whatever. But
yeah, they didn't advance you because
Yeah.
that you're a woman, or your test scores
Correct,
were probably
yeah.
just as good as the
Yeah,
guy you
yeah.
kept out of
Basically
the school.
Top Gun.
And yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
for sure. Yeah, it's Maverick.
We saw it.
It's
We saw the
Maverick and-
movie.
Maverick
The
and Goose up there.
right-hand,
Yeah,
right-hand girl.
correct. Yeah. And so, but this is what they have to do. And he says this in the stand-up comedian routine that they have to like flaunt it. And this is exactly what happened to me. So I'm flying to DC. We're taxiing to the tarmac, and and she says, this is an all-female crew because all the stewardesses or whatever were women.
Right.
Both pilots were women. And she's like, this is an all-women crew. If you can't handle that, then you're just not man enough. And everyone's clapping.
Right.
And I'm like, why can't you just take off,
fly the plane
You
and
don't
let me
have
go.
to rub it in
Wow,
everyone's
why do I have
face.
to know? Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I ranted about that, and the theme that came to mind was foxes guarding the hen house.
Mm-hmm.
When I'd say 70% of the employees, airport, airline, TSA, are burkas and broken English.
Right.
I just feel like with the history of our nation and planes being hijacked, I feel like if safety is the number one concern, which we're led to believe, that's why the guy had to do the thing with my groin area,
right?
Is because safety. And I was assured it was for my own safety. And once he said that, I was like, oh, cool.
Oh, yeah,
rub
no
away.
problem.
Yeah,
He was like,
it's for my own safety. Anyway, so if safety really was the concern, then someone somewhere in the, hey, we need to protect planes and passengers would say, I'm sorry, Mohammed, you're going to have to find somewhere else to work. Right? Like, I mean, like, just as an overall, like, I think this is a bad idea. Statistically,
your chances, chances of if there are groups of people who say we want to destroy the infidels, and that's their worldview, why would anyone decide to put the person with that worldview? And maybe every single one of those employees has said, no, I don't believe in those things.
Yeah.
But if they believe in those things, logical people would say, this does not seem like a good thing.
Correct.
Because you could end up with one who says, come on through the gate. I didn't see anything in your bag.
Yeah. Or here's this one bag that I'm going to put on the, that
goes on the plane with you.
But the problem that we run into and what makes this hard and challenging for the good Muslims is that the bad ones are allowed to lie and say that they're good ones so that they can infiltrate, right? And so that's in their book, is that they can lie to the infidel and say, and again, I've always said, and this matters because this is going on in Hoover right now. This is going on in Alabama. They're trying to do this all over the country. Right. They're coming over here in droves, and when you have 10 Muslims, they're donating to the Rotary Club, and they're building parks, and you get 100 Muslims, and it gets a little spicier, and then you get 1,000 Muslims, and now you've got the prayer horn thing going on,
in Dearborn,
and
exactly. New York City, you did,
and so you've got the Mamdani stuff going on, and it's just an interesting thing that we're 25 years away. So September, so next month we will be 25 years since the World Trade Center had planes that were hijacked by Muslims and flown into those buildings. We're 25 years away, and it happened in New York City, and now New York City has a full-on Muslim mayor, and all of our airports are staffed by the people who hijacked the planes.
Right.
The people who possess the same ideology and religion as the ones who...
So we spent a quarter of a century proving that we're not Islamophobic, and we have probably created a situation where... Well, not probably. We have created a situation where there's a very good chance that if there is a radical jihadi, he has access to the keys at the airport to do whatever they might decide to do.
And so say 80% of them are great people. The whole idea that we're constantly being told about because we're at war with Iran now is Iran sleeper cells. It's like, okay, well, what if these people are part of those sleeper cells and then they decide to activate those sleeper cells and they're now employees of the airport?
They did not put it on the application.
Yeah.
They would have.
Yeah, they would have said we're sleeper cells.
We would have known. We have a very strict screening process.
Yes.
We got to take a break. We'll be right back.
Alabama Unfiltered Radio with Scott Beason.
Every time I get a chance to listen to you, I just think how grateful I am and how much we need you on a national level so more people can hear you.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering Politicians.
in the show that I've decided I'm a Luddite. You know, we crossed that bridge the other day, Sky, and I was either a Luddite or I'm
Amish,
a newer version of Amish. I'm Reformed Amish or Revised Amish, something like that. Because I'm a little bit for more of the simpler. I don't really need all these advancements that they say. Well, you're just gotten old, Scott. No, I think I've gotten where I realize that just because something makes my life, quote unquote, easier, didn't really mean it made my life better. And arguably, it probably didn't make my life easier. Like these phones.
Yeah.
Hey, it's great. But did it really make my life easier?
Yeah. No, now I have to respond to text messages and emails 24
All the
hours
time.
a day. Yeah.
But so back to the airport thing. So your podcast, you went with the foxes guarding the hen house, or the foxes are guarding the hen house. And so we've got this situation where 25 years after September the 11th, a whole host or slew of people who are in charge of security at airports and other places happen to be Islamic. In America, we are taught from the time we can first go to public school that, well, you can't just make a blanket statement, Scott. You can't just make a blanket statement, but we make blanket statements all the time.
Against white Christians.
Oh, yeah, or against anything that might be a risk. Like, you're not supposed to just, what do you tell your kids about dogs that just wander up? Now, you know, there's a nice one, but you don't just go randomly do this. You don't just randomly go here, go there, because there's a chance that one of them might be bad. And we say that, but when it comes to people or people groups, we pretty much just throw out the window. Okay, there's absolutely no chance of anything bad happening.
Yeah.
So let's don't look at the stereotype. Let's don't look at the stats. Let's don't look at the chances. Just go with it.
Yeah.
And there's almost like nothing we can do other than you're called racist, Islamophobe, hater, simple-minded, the whole 9 yards. So we got that over there.
Yeah.
And then in your podcast, you started talking about the schools.
Yeah.
And how that situation is. Because it's very similar.
100%. Yeah. So foxes guarding the hen house. We are putting people in positions over people who need to be protected. And the people that are supposed to be protecting them look a lot like the people that want to harm them. And so Muslims in airports, and then it almost seems like it's a prerequisite to be a teacher in a public school these days that you have to be either sexually deranged or an ideological leftist. I'm painting with a broad brush. I'm using hyperbole on purpose here. So if you're a public school teacher, you're like, well, I'm not. It's like, yeah, I get it. My point is that these stories are becoming so frequent that we're reporting on at 1819 that there's so many of these teachers all over TikTok and everything else where they're trans, they're homosexual, and again, it's like I look back on my time in school. And two of the best teachers I had in elementary school, I now as a man can say, hey, I think those guys were probably gay, but there was no rainbow flags. They were not limp wristed. They were not celebrating their sexuality. They were teaching reading, writing, arithmetic. Right.
Right. And they did a good job at teaching, because I am thinking of my fourth grade teacher who ended up going to Atlanta, and I think might have passed from AIDS.
Yeah.
Which I did not even know was a thing till I'm like an adult. And they're like, hey, did you happen? I'm like, wait a minute.
They weren't rubbing it in your face. They weren't doing this. And so I brought up some instances where 1819 has exposed in the state of Alabama these perverts, these pedophiles, these sexually deranged people, these ideological leftists that are teaching in public schools. And it goes back to the same thing. If you're at an airport and your number one priority is the protection of the passengers and the plane so that they don't get hijacked and flown into buildings, if that's your number one thing, you should probably scrutinize a little bit, more to where the guy named Muhammad isn't the one guarding the tarmac. Just generally speaking, okay?
Right.
Well, over here in schools, it's like if your number one priority, and you're talking about the hearts, minds, and souls of children, okay? Children are the most valuable thing that we have. My children are the most valuable thing that I have. And if I'm going to entrust them to you at an institution, their safety and well-being is the number one priority, should be, of that institution. And so everyone is entrusting their children to these institutions. 92% or something like that in the state of Alabama are trusting them to the public institutions. And they're making hiring practices where they are seeing someone who is an openly homosexual person who's flaunting it and has rainbow flags all over their social media,
Right,
and they're
right.
the head of the trans team or whatever.
And it
that
doesn't
is.
take much to realize any kind of background sweep. Just
Yeah.
looking at their stuff, this is an activist who
Yeah.
who wants to change the hearts and minds of people in general.
Yeah, or have sex with the kids.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, absolutely.
And your goal is to make sure that doesn't happen.
Correct.
And then you're hiring these people, and you're doing that because if you said no based off of just a common sense thing, you look at this person, and a normal person would say, that guy doesn't need to be around kids.
Right.
But instead, they're like, ooh, man, I know a teacher when I see one, and that guy was born to be around kids for 8 hours a day. And
Right.
they hire these people. And then when something happens, they're like, there was no way to know. I can't believe that he was grooming the kids in the classroom.
Right.
I can't believe that he made a podcast that he advertised to all the students where he was telling them F their parents, and if they want to question
Right.
their gender or sexuality, they need to. I can't believe
Yeah.
that
They
he was
act- they
putting
act
gay
very,
books
very
in the class.
shocked.
Like, this is such a surprise to us. I'm like, is it really? Because I looked at that guy, and the first thing I thought was he's for sure indoctrinating kids, and he might be diddling them. Just from general
Just looking
observation.
from the radar.
Okay? Yeah.
Right. I said R. I said
Yeah.
R, Sky. I said I had an
I heard you.
R at the start.
You got it.
Yeah.
Look, y'all.
Or the gaydar.
There we go.
There
Hey,
it
we
is.
got to take another
Sold
break.
out.
We'll be back.
You can learn things, and I appreciate that.
I appreciate that,
And,
Fred. Thank you.
But that's true, and I mean that. I'm not being sarcastic. I am serious.
We have to stop kowtowing to every little thing that they have said is bad and evil, and they don't get to decide what is right and wrong. I'll bank my money on what God, the creator of the universe, says is right and wrong. It's worked very well for Western society for 2 millennia, and we've got to get with it. Got to fight the fight. We got to get after it. It's ridiculous. I'm just tired of great Americans being ripped to shreds, history going away, and all of us cowering around because we're afraid somebody's going to call us a bad name. It is time to save the republic.
You're listening to Alabama Unfiltered Radio with Scott Beason.
There was a lot of people who
Thank you for
participated
being
in
there,
civil rights
Scott.
that thought they were doing a really
Every
good
time
thing,
I
and they made a
get
lot of
a chance to
sacrifices, and they
listen
worked
to
really
you,
hard, and they were
think
really, really
how
good
The
people.
public
great
argument,
I am,
Yeah.
how
we
much
don't
we
disagree
need
with.
Correct.
you on
It's
a
what
national
did it
level.
actually do?
So
And
more
what did it
people
actually
can hear
accomplish?
you.
And what were the motives from the people who architected it?
Right.
That is where
Right. Were we being
the
lied
challenge is.
to?
But there were some really, really great black people who participated in it with really, really good motives, who sacrificed and worked hard and went through a ton of adversity, and they
Scott
achieved their
Beason,
goal.
president of
And
ARP,
now they're like, well, gay
Alabama
is the new
recovering
black.
politician.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it isn't.
Welcome back into the program, everybody. Alabama Unfiltered Radio. My goodness gracious, I'm glad glad we could turn all these off, Sky.
Oh, yeah.
The show between the show.
I made double dog sure.
You made double dog sure when Brian's on
you better
that it's all turned off. I even made sure we went to commercial over there on YouTube just so there's none of those lip reader fights. That what did I say? I didn't say a curse word, but it came close.
No.
That's the good thing about having the no lips that I have. I have the Clint Eastwood lips that are just lines. There's like no filler. It's very hard for the lip readers because they're like, goodness gracious, he barely has a mouth. This is just ridiculous. All right, I'm wandering off topic, Brian. Back to the thing. So the question is, we know these situations are out there, okay? And people can plug in. And for our new listeners who are just coming on in the second half of the show, we have things that we know are risk. These are not good for society. They're not good for our communities. They're not good for our kids. They're not good for our families. Whatever. Plug that thing in. Everybody can think of one. But somebody comes along and says, well, the Constitution, Brian, we got the Constitution. They have freedom of this, freedom of that. You can't do anything about that because that's their religious belief, or that's their free speech, or that's their sexual freedom, or whatever, which is not in the Constitution. And it seems like every time somebody like myself says, hey, we really need to deal with this issue. This is bad. This is the train has no brakes. The bridge is out. It is going. Hey, can we stop? Let's don't do this. Someone just says, no, Scott, there's nothing you can do about it because of the Constitution. So what do we do?
Yeah, and I think it's even less the Constitution and more, I guess it's tied up in the Constitution with civil rights. And so what's essentially happened, as I said at the end of the last segment, is that tons of well-meaning people fought for civil rights, get civil rights. Well, now they're saying, well, gay is the new black. Now the radical homosexual movement has attached themselves to civil rights. And
in the gay marriage case, they went back to the 14th Amendment. Everything's the 14th Amendment. Never meant to be. Yeah.
Our founders fought, bled, and died, risked their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honors so that those two dudes can get married.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Not what happened actually, but that's what we're being told. So the radical homosexual movement, militarized homosexual movement, attaches itself to the civil rights so that they can get the same protections. Now this person,
which was a strategy, like sat around a table
100%.
and said, "This is the strategy,"
just like civil rights was, right? And it wasn't anyway. So they've attached themselves to this movement so they can get the same protections, and when you have a person who's in charge of hiring, firing at these schools, they want to protect these children, and instead, our legal system is basically set up to where if that person makes the right call and doesn't let this person around those kids, he will be sued for discrimination.
Correct.
Right? And so when that happens, and again, like, they should just let it happen anyway. Just let them get sued. Just get sued. Don't, like, who cares? You have to protect these kids.
Right.
And so when something inevitably does, and they're always like, oh, there was no signs. We didn't see this coming. I'm like, no, there was a lot of signs actually.
Yeah.
And so when that bad thing happens, God's still going to hold you responsible for what you did in that position. And you're not going to be like, well, they were going to sue me, God.
Right.
They were like,
right.
Doesn't matter. And that's how we need to be thinking about this. If your job is to protect hearts, minds, souls, and physical well-being of these children, and you're letting people in who aim to destroy those things, and you say, well, there's nothing I can do, we're going to get sued and we'll never win in court, get sued. And that's how the left wins. Yeah. They do crazy stuff. It gets tied up in the courts. They bring all the media in and they play on feelings. Do the same thing now. If some person, superintendent, whoever's in charge of hiring these people says, no, we actually think this person's a risk to the physical well-being and hearts, minds, and souls of these children, we're not going to do it. We're not going to hire that person. And you don't even have to say it's because of that. You could say some other reason. But so say you did say that and you do get sued. You're going to have 1819 covering it saying, like, look at this situation going on here, and everyone's going to say that dude's doing what's right. People are going to stand up behind you, and we're going to cause a scene, and then those laws are going to start to be questioned. But until someone somewhere stands up with a set of balls and does what's right, despite the laws and the Constitution and all this other stuff. And again, the Constitution is being bastardized and weaponized against the people who it was meant to protect.
Correct.
That's what's happening. You never see the Constitution never stops the left from doing what they want to do.
Right.
It only stops us.
It only stops the people who actually believe in the Constitution.
Correct.
And I'm glad you brought up the example because I'm forever on the show saying, yeah, that's exactly what George Washington was thinking. He was like, you know what? I'm going to go fight the redcoats so Adam and Steve can get married.
Yeah, and women can chop up babies inside of them and get them shot back down. That is why we are doing this.
Yeah, that's what freedom meant to them. They're like, wow.
Cross the Delaware with all the ice.
If we can get this done, think of all the stuff we can do.
Think all the babies we can murder and the gays that we can marry.
So, yeah, people need to take those stands, no doubt about it. We're very, very comfortable. We don't want to run the risk of losing what we have. I do think a lot of Americans, Alabamians and Southerners especially, are ahead of the game when it comes to. But I see my job, your job, 1819 News' job. I wish some elected officials would get on board as telling people, hey, look, no, what you believe in is right.
Yeah.
And we need to take a stand on these things. And you're not alone. You're not the only person that believes it. And without what y'all do and we do here, what all the whole family of 1819 News does is let people know, no, you are in the right.
Yeah.
The things you think should happen in your community and the things that matter to you and traditional values are right. And we need to stand up for them. And that's been the mission since you started 1819 News, is to protect those things. And I think we're making progress. It's never as fast as I would like it to be, but elected officials are beginning to echo some of those things.
100%. And the thing is that we are giving, whether it's elected officials, whether it's people in positions higher up in some of these institutions that are pulling their hair out, watching how everything's going, wishing that they could make a stand. But if they did at that time, they would have just got railroaded.
Right.
Now we're able to provide air cover for those people who are saying, hey, we're actually going to try and restore some sanity to this institution or this government or whatever. And that's huge. Like they feel like people have their back. And it's not 1819 that has their back necessarily. Of course we do, but we're pointing a light on it so that all of the people in Alabama can have their back.
Yes.
And that's powerful.
Well, my hope is that Alabamians begin to see themselves as Alabamians again and stop with the apologies, stop with, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm from Alabama, whatever. Because Alabamians were right about a whole lot more than they were wrong about.
Yeah.
And what the left has done to us is says, hey, you were wrong about that big thing over there. Therefore, we don't want to hear anything you have to say about any other issues. And a lot of our leaders have always kind of shied away. They don't want to be the state that takes a stand for this or a stand for that. Yeah. And it was funny. Way back in the day, we were doing illegal immigration stuff. And all the newspapers, AL.com, they were all still around. I don't know if they had been chopped down to half a week by that time or not. But they were like, yeah, no, these international businesses will never come here. So you get the business community coming in. They're like, oh, yeah, we can't. If we do this, nobody will ever come. And I can't remember. I think it may have not been Mercedes, but I'm almost positive it was a Mercedes guy who was like, they do the interview, and they're going to ask him because they need the Mercedes guy to say, oh, yeah, absolutely. If Scott and them win on this illegal immigration stuff, there's no investment here. Nobody from anywhere will want to come here. And he's like, yeah, we don't care about that at all. That's the law every other place in the world.
Yeah.
And all the reporters are like,
yeah,
clutching their pearls. They just want good places to do business. They don't. Yeah. They're not worried about whether or not we're solidly traditional.
Yeah, money goes where money grows.
Right.
And money will not grow where there's insanity and chaos.
Yes.
And so we have to restore order and sanity where we live so that we can create an environment that people want to live so they will move their families here. And if there's families and workers and all these in safety and security and sanity, not insanity, but sanity.
Right.
If those things reign in Alabama, we'll have more people coming here to do business than we know what to do with.
Yeah. And look, there'll be some huge companies that are all into wokeness that'll not go there because we don't. That's too. But so what? I mean, it's about quality of life. It's about whether or not you can drop your kids off at the school and not worried about them being indoctrinated at best and messed with at worst.
Yeah. And on that note about woke corporations not wanting to do business, I think those days are coming to a screeching halt.
Mm-hmm.
the problem with corporations, and I don't want to say the problem with capitalism is like, oh, so you're a communist? And it's like, no, obviously, if you've ever heard anything I've ever said about communists, but it is that their only responsibility is to the shareholder, and that's insane. When you're talking about they only have one responsibility, and that's to the shareholder, not to all these other things that they absolutely have a responsibility to, but aren't held accountable for. And you get a bunch of coordinated woke people, creating a hellstorm that's going to cause their stock to drop a little bit. That's when they're like, well, now we're seeing it the other way, like a Bud Light situation, right? So they're saying like, oh, this, doing this woke thing is not actually as beneficial to our stockholders as we thought it was. And so you're going to start to see them ignore some of that crazy stuff, because if they don't move their plant to Alabama because of our abortion laws or something like that, there's going to be outrage on the right. Yeah. And that could affect their stock. So they're actually going to go back to a socially neutral corporation.
Which would be great for us. Brian Dawson has been on the show, my guest. Where can we find your podcast?
1819 News, the podcast, wherever podcasts are found. On YouTube, you can just search 1819 Podcast. Find it there. Like, subscribe, comment, share. If you're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, leave me a review. But definitely go there, listen. I'm sure you'll be informed.
I'm ashamed that you hadn't been kicked off.
Yeah.
We got to go. We'll be back.
Thank you for being there, Scott. Every time I get a chance to listen to you, I just think how grateful I am and how much we need you on a national level so more people can hear you.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering Politicians.
You can learn things, and I appreciate that.
I appreciate that, Fred. Thank you.
But that's true, and I mean that. I'm not being sarcastic. I am serious.
We have to stop kowtowing to every little thing that they have said is bad and evil, and they don't get to decide what is right and wrong. I'll bank my money on what God, the creator of the universe, says is right and wrong. It's worked very well for Western society for 2 millennia, and we've got to get with it. Got to fight the fight. We got to get after it. ridiculous. I'm just tired of great Americans being ripped to shreds, history going away, and all of us cowering around because we're afraid somebody's going to call us a bad name. It is time to save the republic.
You're listening to Alabama Unfiltered Radio with Scott Beason.
Welcome back in, everybody. Alabama Unfiltered Radio. I appreciate Brian Dawson stopping in for a little while today. Then we have our next usual Wednesday person, and Eubank is with me. But I want to go back to just a little bit from Brian and before we get started.
Okay.
The real struggle for a lot of conservatives is that someone will come along and say, well, you can't be for that because the Constitution. And that may not be constitutional, but is what some, like I've said many times before, drunken, politically connected lawyer called a judge said was constitutional. And most normal people don't realize that the courts have used, quote, precedent to move a lot of issues way away from the original intent to where they wanted it. So first drunken judge says, I don't think the Constitution meant exactly that, but I'll reference it and I'll move us just a little bit. Then the next judge or justice references that judge without ever going back to the Constitution. And then the third one references the second justice without ever going back to even what the first one said, much less the Constitution. And you get moved away. And then all the television newscasts and all the people writing at the old newspapers, who most of them are Bolshevik, leftist, Marxist, whatever, they'll say, well, that's constitutional or that's unconstitutional. And you're like, what? Are you kidding me? You tell me the founding fathers would. So here's one of the things, and I bring this up a lot.
I want that book.
Oh, it's a very good. I may have another copy of it.
Okay.
And you'll know in a second why I always use this case, but I want people to realize how far we have gone.
Oh, yeah.
And now, look, this is 1890. We were already after the Civil War. And after the Civil War, there was a huge shift. Many leftists, many constitutional scholars openly admit, now you don't read it in your textbooks, but openly say that the Civil War was the Second American Revolution and that America as a country changed tremendously after that war. There was no more states' rights. There was a centralization of power in Washington, D.C., much less concern for we the people. I mean, a lot changed.
I was going to say 1891, but if that book says 90, I go with the book.
Yeah, this says 1890.
Yeah.
The case was Davis. I've talked about it on the program before. Sky might remember. Davis versus Beason.
Oh, I remember that.
Beason. It went to the United States Supreme Court. In this case, it was argued, who wrote this? This is David Barton.
And we know he knows.
He absolutely does, because if he writes anything a little bit wrong, they roast him for it.
Yeah.
In this case, it was argued that what was immoral for one group might be moral for another. Under federal statutes, Samuel Davis had been convicted, fined, and sentenced to jail for bigamy and polygamy. Okay? Christian laws that said, hey, look, you can't do this. Okay? So I just want to get that straight. So it's a Christian-based law. You can't have a bunch of wives.
No.
So it ends up going all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court. He appealed, and before the Supreme Court, his attorneys argued that laws against bigamy and polygamy were a violation of the First Amendment because they interfered with Davis and his other Mormons' free exercise of religion. Hey, it's part of our religion. Just like the satanic whoever who wants to, have their prayers at the county commission meeting or their statues, before the before the state house building. Number 2, Idaho law under which he was convicted was a violation of the 14th Amendment. Now, in 2026, everything's a violation of the 14th Amendment, which prohibited the states from making laws that interfered with the rights of their citizens. The court in 1890 rejected those arguments. The response was very straightforward. Now, here's what they said. This is the Supreme Court of the United States. Now, think about what we think, how we're taught. Oh, this is constitutional. That's not constitutional. I'll just read you part of it. Bigamy and polygamy, this is a court. Bigamy and polygamy are crimes by the laws of all civilized and Christian countries. Straight out of the chute. They're like, hey, you can't be doing this in a Christian country. They are crimes by the laws of the United States, and they are crimes by the laws of Idaho. They tend to destroy the purity of the marriage relation, to disturb the peace of families, to degrade women, and to debase man. They further on, to extend exemption from punishment for such crimes would be to shock the moral judgment of the community. To call their advocacy a tenet of religion is to offend the common sense of mankind.
Wow.
Now, that's just the first paragraph where they are clearly saying, hey, look, yeah, this is a Christian thing. Probably never before in the history of this country has it been seriously contended that the whole punitive power of the government for acts recognized by the general consent of the Christian world must be suspended in order that the tenets of a religious sect may be carried out without hindrance. The U.S. Supreme Court in 1890 said, hey, wait a minute, where in the world did anybody get this idea
that this is okay?
That the tenets of Christianity would be suspended for any of y'all, which translates, we're not suspending Christianity for your made-up set of rules over here. I don't care what you say your rights are. You're not going to suspend Christianity's rules for that. This is the U.S. Supreme Court.
That's kind of where the whole thing of community standards came from. But now, and I've told this story a bunch of times, my ex-son-in-law used to teach constitutional law. Mm-hmm. And he would use me as an example of a straight-up constitutionalist, right, when he said, my Tea Party mother-in-law would tell you that the Second Amendment is absolute. But, right, and now there are law students who have never even read the Constitution. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So how do we expect them to know what's constitutional?
The reason I bring up that Beason versus Davis case is, I ran across it. And of course, I was interested. What the heck is this case in this book? This got
because it's you
Beason on it.
Yeah,
he was the sheriff, by the way. And
I bet he was a constitutional sheriff.
He probably was. He was probably awesome.
Yeah.
But the fact that you read that ruling, and you see the argument that the guy and his lawyers are making using the 14th Amendment, using the First Amendment. Hey, it's my religion. And hey, this state can't be stopping me from doing these things are my rights. And they just slap it down in the most simple way. But the fact that they are saying, hey, this is our country. This is the way we are. This is who we are.
Right.
You don't get to change this. And then over the next 130 years, the court itself changed the United States into something that even these justices in 1890 would not recognize. The reason I say all that is so that people listening to this program who in the back of their mind, they're like, I just can't believe what I'm being told is constitutional. I just don't think Thomas Jefferson. I just don't think Samuel Adams. I just don't think George Washington. I don't see how I don't think they got there. They didn't get there.
No, they didn't.
And that's why the left has always had a hard time with quote unquote strict constructionalism, original intent. They wanted a constitution that they could say has evolved, and they have evolved it. And we are in the right, morally, traditionally, historically, by saying, no. We're going back to the way it was supposed to be.
Right.
And so we should quit kowtowing and backing up to these people like, oh, no, I have this right or there. No, you don't. Just because drunken, politically connected lawyers in black robes wanted you to be able to overthrow our country does not mean that we are in some sort of morally insufficient position by telling these people no.
Well, all you have to do is read the first 3 paragraphs, and it tells you what we are.
What we're supposed to do. We got to take a break. We'll be back. Welcome back in, everybody. Alabama Unfiltered Radio. I appreciate you listening. Thank you for telling people about the program. Thanks for being a part of the family and helping us grow what we do here. It is different than especially these national shows. And y'all are a huge part of it, and I appreciate you. The number, 1-800-289-9228, 1-800-289-9228. Let's go to James. James, welcome to the show. I hope you're doing well. Fantastic. Two stories. Yeah, you're right. No, absolutely not. Anne's not even listening to you. She's worried about her headset or something. You can't hear him at all?
I can't hear him. No, I can't hear him at all. I don't know.
Not now either. How do you always end up with a messed up? And you make me mash all these buttons, and I'm not really sure that they're actually working. Where'd James go? There he is. I can hear him. You can't hear him?
I cannot.
Huh. I can hear you.
You're doing this deliberately.
I can hear you. Ann doesn't need to hear you. I just need to hear you, James. The listeners can hear you. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay.
To the bananas. But there's a problem.
Okay.
Okay.
The third monkey has a gun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Is this some kind
Again,
of
don't make
political
any
fable?
assumptions. He may not want any of the bananas either.
Okay. Okay. But he's got a gun. Okay.
That sounds
our
almost like two
conundrum.
wolves and a sheep trying to figure out who to eat.
Yeah. Well, as long as they don't have a sword. Oh, my bad.
A little
One of
more
them has a
involved
gun.
here.
Mm.
Yeah.
Liberty will be a sheep with a well-armed sheep, wouldn't it?
I'm not sure about that one, Scott.
Okay. Back to your monkey
The reason,
story.
Okay, go back to
the reason
monkeys.
there's a pause here
Yeah.
is because this genius on this end of the phone, as I've been called, that was sarcastic. We can't all be a genius like you. I'm like, well, thanks. I can't remember what the other story was, Scott. Isn't that terrible?
You had two stories.
And then they went in. They walked into a bar, and something happened.
And there was a pastor there and a
rabbi. And
yeah.
I'm not even sure it involved guns. This morning,
Excuse
after
me,
floating
but I'm going to
Pharrell,
go get my boots. It's getting deep in here.
Hey, do you want?
You're gonna walk all over us.
I want to give James. I want to show you how educated I am at times. It was Benjamin Franklin, is widely been attributed to him, who said, "Democracy is two wolves and a lamb voting on what to have for lunch. Liberty is a well-armed lamb."
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Contesting the vote.
I'm
Franklin.
following you. That
Yeah.
way the wolves don't eat the lamb.
That's right.
James gets it.
It's kind of like the monkey story. I mean, it's not quite as good, but that's the best
I'm
Benjamin
still
Ben
waiting
could
to
do.
find out what happened with the monkey.
Well, see, I'm not sure how this came about, but it's just something that I stumbled on and I'm not going to say I authored it, but well, you know.
Are you sure
And
these
so-
three monkeys weren't trying to get on the ark?
Yeah, what's going
Oh
on?
no.
Okay. All right. Because you got to
But,
fight like the third monkey.
And he's got a gun.
Well, here's what I'll tell you. I told this to Feinbaum one day, and he was just indifferent, like he wasn't listening.
Right. Right.
And that's okay. I mean, he gets all kind of nuts on there.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
Yeah, poor guy.
and then so I tried to share with Joey, and when I got to the third monkey had a gun, he dumped me. Like it
Really?
was some sort of, I don't know. I guess it was. I mean,
well,
I'm not
here's
sure,
your chance to prove Joey wrong. So
Yeah.
What?
but I don't have an answer. You know, it's not a
So wait a
racial
minute.
epithet.
Joey had better discernment than I do because he was like, this story is not going anywhere.
Well, there you go. Maybe that's why he dumped me. He knew that was the end. No punchline. Just some moron on the phone talking
about
to
monkeys
somebody
and
else.
guns.
You know, I mean, who knows?
Well,
But gosh, I wish I could remember that second story, man. See, that's
Well, I hope it couldn't be better than the first. You know,
yeah. Well, in my mind, it was. That's why I was saving the best for last.
was it part 2?
oh, God.
No.
Thanks,
no,
James.
It was, yeah. Well, thanks, Scott.
All right, buddy. I'll
you
talk
have
to you
a
later.
nice day.
You too, buddy.
Ta-ta.
That's the
We're
story
never
of my
gonna
life
find
right
out
there.
What happened?
You start down the road, you got 3 monkeys with you. One of them has a gun.
And then what happens?
No, we don't remember.
Yeah.
Well, apparently the other 2 were drinking because
Well, it started out with banana, and one didn't want the banana, and
yeah,
I feel like we're trying to write a thesis on insanity here or something. But the monkey with the gun, that's who I.
here's the
I'm
3
going
monkey joke. Why did the first monkey fall out of the tree?
I don't know. Why did he fall out of the tree?
Because it was dead.
The third monkey with the gun shot him.
Well, exactly. Why did the second monkey fall out of the tree?
I don't know.
Because
Why?
it was dead.
Because the third monkey with the gun shot him.
Shot him. Why
Okay.
did the third monkey fall out of the tree?
Because he shot the first 2.
Peer pressure.
There you go. All right.
I mean, goodness.
Bring it on,
That wasn't
baby.
hard.
Oh, God.
Men make things so
We
complicated.
do complicate it up. You're in a room with 3
Jeez.
monkeys. One has a banana, one has a gun, and one has nothing. Who's the smartest primate?
And the lizard said, "Dang, monkey, how much water did you drink?"
You are, because you're smarter than a monkey.
Yeah, I've got a whole list of punchlines. I don't even tell the jokes anymore. But that was it.
We could have look. I don't know if it was the monkeys trying to get on the ark, if it was the monkeys falling out of the tree, or the 3 monkeys jumping on the bed.
Well, I have a question.
One fell
So
off and bumped his
confused at
head.
this point.
I have a question. How was that on topic?
He was going into some type
was
of Second
getting
Amendment
there.
political fable because the gun showed up. That's what
Right,
tripped
that's
me
what
off.
it was.
So I'm leaning in. I'm going, okay, this might be good.
Okay.
That was the end of the story.
Look, the story as it went makes me happy. I
think
mean,
we should
I
ban
enjoy
James for a
the
week
the
after
3 monkeys jumping on the
you're
bed
so easy.
in the ark, fighting for liberty. We'll try to be back.
Just have to make up your own ending for that riveting story there.
Welcome back into the program, everybody. Alabama Unfiltered Radio. I'm looking over at the call board, which I don't do as often as I should. Mm-hmm. And my very excellent producer has put that someone has a comment about show content.
That's right.
Part of me says, man,
no.
I
It's-
need to hear this.
It's John from Wetumpka. He's a good guy.
And then part of me says, be careful. But I do. But John from Wetumpka's all pretty nice most of the time.
Yeah.
Let's go out to the phones.
But
John,
My limited characters I can use to put on the call board have worked exactly as I intended.
Here's the thing. I guarantee you I'm going to agree
yo,
with
I'm sure
him.
you're going to agree or enjoy it immensely. John from
Okay,
Wetumpka,
okay.
welcome to the program.
Plan 2, John. Plan 2. Okay.
Choose the second monkey, John. The second
That's
monkey.
right. Second monkey's on deck. Okay, go ahead. Come on in, John.
Hey, John.
John's bailed out on us, apparently.
Well,
John?
that explains the show
We were having
content.
a
That's
little
about
cutting out,
about
John.
normal for us.
Yeah, show content.
None.
Dead air.
John.
He was cutting out during the screening. So,
Was he?
Come
He's
on,
in
John.
He's in a bad area.
Yeah.
Okay.
He might be calling from inside the school.
You need to call back, John, because I think I'm going to agree with you on this one.
You don't like the show content?
I'll put him back on. Oh, there he went.
it-
Okay. Hopefully he'll call back.
I'm not into monkeys with guns myself.
You're not.
No, guns
I did
okay.
look up the punchline if you're interested, and it's just not worth it. But
No, it's not worth
Not
it.
this is that bad.
totally awful. Yeah. And he told it wrong too.
I am to the point. They don't have these things anymore. I need to go look around and see. Y'all remember the things on the playground that were the big round disc with the bars on it, and
Yes,
and
and
you
you
took
ran and
turns
jumped on.
getting to be the you know somebody was pushing it as fast as they could possibly push
yeah,
it.
We had those. Yeah.
Yeah, and they were awesome.
Yeah, they
and
were
most
fun.
people didn't hurt. I mean,
Well,
you got scuffed up,
yeah, a
but
little bit.
usually they they didn't put, the monkey bars right there beside the centrifugal force
It was called
child launcher.
a merry-go-round.
Y'all just called it a merry-go-round?
Yeah, that's
What
what
did
we
y'all
called
call
it.
the thing with horses on it? A carousel?
Carousel.
Oh, because you went to Banks. That's a merry-go-round. It's a merry-go-round at the fair. It's a
Excuse me.
carousel down at the swanky
Are
bougie
you
place.
discriminating against me because I went to Banks?
Because you're bougie. We used to
Bougie.
say boogery.
Bougie.
Give people over there the boogery.
Hey, how many smart people do you know went to Banks?
One.
Oh, okay. You don't know anybody?
No,
that
I don't know
went to
anybody
Banks?
else. Let's go to John. John, welcome back in.
Hey,
There
good
he
morning.
is. All
Good
right.
morning, John.
There we go. You know, Scott, Sky, Miss Ann, I think you guys, when you got into the situation where you were talking about sheep and monkeys and guns and wolves and all of that, you kind of lost the essence of the show.
You think? I'm sitting here with my hand over my
I thought that
eyes.
was basically indicative of the show. That's the way I feel like it goes
Yeah.
sometimes.
I don't know. I livened right up. I think we're on to something.
Yeah, Sky was as happy as he's been in a week.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the problem.
There-
What I'm going to talk about will take you right back down
To misery.
to misery.
Okay, John, you got 2.5 minutes to save the day here. Come on now.
You know what the problem was, Miss Ann?
Yeah.
I was going through Coosa County, and they don't have phones up here.
Oh. That is a problem. But
Yeah,
you
it is
know,
a problem.
but John, let me say this about that. Considering what I know about flock cameras and all of the antennas and the cell phone towers and what they're putting on them now, that's a really good thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not a bad idea.
right. Get out there in the woods where nobody can track you.
I'll tell a story very quickly.
Okay.
My grandfather remembers this story real well. There was a black gentleman in Coosa County who was the first person in Coosa County to have a television set, and there were people from all over the county coming in just to see his little 6 or 10 inch screen to watch the fight.
Okay.
And black, white, whatever, all came to his house because he was the first one in the area that had a television set.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I'm just saying that, this was a guy that didn't have a whole lot necessarily, but he wanted to be the first person in the county to have a television set. So Coosa County can be forward thinking.
Oh, okay.
I got
I
you.
get it. Yeah.
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 So they do have technology. It's just been a long time. And
John, you were helping out the show. I
Yeah.
promise.
you think so? Maybe.
You fit in perfectly.
Yeah, I know. Just random things that are worthless, which my wife says I know a lot of those kinds of things.
My husband says the same thing about me.
Yeah, well, we do. We're that kind of people with that kind of personality. We know a lot
Yeah.
of things that, in the great scheme of things, don't matter a whole lot.
Yeah,
You're
but,
true, 'cause-
But we come in handy when somebody needs something.
Well, that's true. Or
Yeah.
if you really are serious about wanting to know about all this crazy stuff, we
come in handy.
we
John,
come
we
in
got to go to
handy.
break. It's the top of the hour. Appreciate you, buddy. Call back soon. We'll be back. Stop kowtowing to every little thing that they have said is bad and evil and they don't get to decide what is right and wrong. I'll bank my money on what God, the creator of the universe, says is right and wrong. It's worked very well for Western society for 2 millennia, and we've got to get with it. Got to fight the fight. We got to get after it. It's ridiculous. I'm just tired of great Americans being ripped to shreds, history going away, and all of us cowering around because we're afraid somebody's going to call us a bad name. It is time to save the republic.
You're listening to Alabama Unfiltered Radio with Scott Beason.
every time I get a chance to listen to you, I just think how grateful I am and how much we need you on a national level so more people can hear you.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering Politicians.
You can learn things, and I appreciate that.
I appreciate that, Fred. Thank you.
But that's true, and I mean that. I'm not being sarcastic. I am serious.
We have to stop kowtowing to every little thing that they have said is bad and evil, and they don't get to decide what is right and wrong. I'll bank my money on what God, the creator of the universe, says is right and wrong. It's worked very well for Western society for 2 millennia, and we've got to get with it. We've got to fight the fight. We've got to get after it. It's ridiculous. I'm just tired of great Americans being ripped to shreds, history going away, and all of us cowering around because we're afraid somebody's going to call us a bad name. It is time to save the republic.
You're listening to Alabama Unfiltered Radio with Scott Beason.
Welcome back into the program, everybody. It's Alabama Unfiltered Radio. I'm Scott Beason, and Eubank is with me. What a day we have had. We had a little over an hour with Brian Dawson. Then we had almost an hour of me and a couple of other monkeys, and we don't really know what happened, but that was one of the most fun times I've had in a while.
Well, it's Wednesday.
It reminded me of the show I've told y'all before, I think. I know we got a lot of new listeners. Sky may not have paid attention to me at this point in time, but my favorite show of all time, it was one of the first, it was probably early on in being able to do radio by myself. Not that I'm able to now, really, but somehow I was telling the story of what was going on in my life, which was that I was being invaded, not by illegal aliens this time, but by carpenter bees. Mm-hmm. And my effort to fight the carpenter bees, very Jedi ninja-esque. And so I was just out there killing carpenter bees, just waiting on them to come down where I could hit them with a tennis racket. And for probably 2 hours, people called to tell stories of fighting carpenter bees, the kind that bore into your wood at your house,
Right.
and better ways to fight the carpenter bees.
Cedar.
It was the greatest show. The stories were awesome. The people were awesome. One lady called and said, because I thought this was a pithy line, Sky. She called and said that you could spray them with WD-40. And I said, that won't do anything but make them faster. And I thought that was... but it was great. I mean, people were like, hey, tennis rackets are bulky. You need to use badminton rackets. And people were really trying to say how to poison them. I mean, it was a great show. And at the end of the show, I said that show was about nothing. And it was fantastic. It was so good because people had they had competitions and events, and one time it was a guy and his drunken buddies that were trying to kill the bees, and people hit each other on accident, and all. I mean, it was great. It was so good.
We have carpenter bees right at where our garage door goes up. You put cedar chips up in those holes, and they're gone.
Well, they like to bore in the cedar, though. So what does the chip do?
I don't know.
Because I've got some cedar on my house, and they like it.
It's different. So, But yeah.
Well, I did finally find some poison that'll kill them, and then their little larva comes out and just dies. It's kind of nasty. They drop on the.
Watching people try to kill the bees, I've found to be highly entertaining over the years.
You got to follow through, and you got to have a quick arm and good eye hand coordination.
You need a secondary plan. It often turns out, but
and if people don't think bugs and stuff have brains, because the second generation. You walk out there with the bee slaying racket.
They'll leave.
And they're like, I'm not coming down there. The first generation, you just wore them out. The second generation is like, no, I'm not stupid. I'm not coming down there. It's annoying.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right. So what do we have, Ann? Ann's hour.
Oh, okay.
Ann's 45 minutes.
Yeah, 45 minutes. Let's see. Well, last week, I was at the beach. And it was hot. But I understand it was hotter here.
Oh, it was hotter than... hot. Sky says I can't talk about billy goats, but it was hot.
Yeah, it was hot.
Yeah.
And
no matter how many.
I got a nice tan, and
right.
I was with.
Were you with the ladies, the discernment ladies?
Yes, I was with the discernment ladies, and we.
I need a name for them. The dames of discernment.
No. Actually, we're called the Sassy Sisters.
The Sassy Sisters.
Yes.
You like that better than dames of discernment?
Well, I like that.
Let's see, y'all have a vote next time and see if y'all.
I'll get a vote. So.
So what did you learn?
Chaos and prepare.
Part 2.
Part 2.
So it's accelerating.
Yeah, it is. They're getting faster, and we're just going to have to. Of course, we always have to stand in the gap. Monday night, I was at an event that AL Politics put on, Dr. Chitwood, where we had Democrats and Republicans and hardcore conservatives and the news. And the news didn't put it on TV, which I thought was funny as heck.
Mm-hmm.
We have come to the conclusion that data centers and AI is a bipartisan problem, and they think exactly like we do.
Really?
Yes. The Democrats are as mad as we are. Oh, yes. Maybe for a bit of different reasons.
Why are Democrats against AI and data centers? Because they can't say it's about using up land.
Well, yeah.
Because they were all for... solar panels for as far as the eye could see. So,
well, the Democrats that were there with me, there were several guys running for office there, which I thought was funny. They're mad that AI can steal their art, and they're mad that their energy bills are going to be affected, and that the water is going to be, and the land will be destroyed. And you're right about the solar panels and all of the stuff, but these people were not happy about solar panels and wind. So they were Alabamian Democrats.
Okay.
So, and we had a great crowd. It was at one of the churches, and we had.
Did you speak? You
I
spoke?
spoke.
Did you hear him in the crowd saying like, "Hey, that's that lady I don't like, but I think she's right about this one"?
In fact, I had several people come up to me. In fact, the most comments that I heard were, "I can't believe you said that out loud." And I have my PowerPoint. I was the only one with a PowerPoint because I do facts. I don't do
Right,
emotions. Democrats are emotional. I'm a factual person. So I had the facts up on my PowerPoint, and I had, and this may get you kicked off, or it may get me kicked out.
Sky's he's quick on the buttons. Go ahead.
It's not the button. It's what.
Just the general idea?
The general idea.
Okay.
I had our gubernatorial candidate, Tommy Tuberville, up there with what he said.
Right.
And then I had the facts next to him, and I said, I'm appalled.
Right.
As a conservative and somebody who votes Republican, I can't vote for him.
Now, why are we deciding that this far out? Like, so who you going to vote for?
I'm going to write in Tim James for governor.
Oh, are you? So what is, because there's going to be a lot of people dealing with some of these issues. Like, it occurred to me over the weekend. I was like, no, exactly where am I going to go? Because there's a lot of things that I like that Tuberville is saying. I also know a lot of people who haven't looked into AI and its effects and aren't talking to the dames of discernment. A lot of young people who are like, hey, it's great, it's awesome, technology is going to be wonderful. I also don't believe, since it is a bipartisan effort, that the Democrat candidate is going to be any different on that issue. So do we shoot ourselves in the foot on all the other issues just because we're mad about this issue? Because I was pretty upset a couple weeks ago, still upset on that issue, hoping that he changes trajectory on it. But because the honest option is Doug Jones, and that's who we're going to get with
a supermajority Republican legislature.
And you think you know better than that.
No.
You get Doug Jones with this legislature who's dying to be as Democrat as they possibly can be.
They are pretty Democrat.
It would be, they would be like, oh, we're just being respectful of the governor. We're just giving the governor what he wants. The governor was elected by a mandate. I mean, they would be giddy about doing what Doug Jones would want.
But still, my conscience, data centers and AI is the destruction of the way that we here in Alabama live.
Right.
And I can't vote for somebody who's going to do that. So do I not vote?
It's a good question. Is there any way that, is there anything he could say that would make you feel better about it or make you feel differently about it, or something he could learn that you would say, okay, so he's beginning to get an understanding on this issue?
Well, he's going down the other path.
Oh, I haven't heard him double down.
Oh, well, you don't know behind the curtain like I do. I know behind the curtain.
Really?
Yeah.
Very interesting. We got to take a break, Sky?
Yes, we can go ahead and do that right
All right,
now.
then we'll be right back. Welcome back in, everybody. I'm having a bad hair day.
Yes,
but
you
know
are.
what? I don't mess with it.
And let me tell you why. Is because you did this and you didn't realize
Is that
you
what
did
it was?
this. Yes.
Okay.
So
I don't have enough hair to mess with, Sky. It's very, very thin. Very thin.
So
Be grateful you still have what you got.
the most
I know I
comments,
am.
the most comments I got about my comment is I can't believe you said that out loud, but
Right.
you know it's a problem. So
So you think AI is the biggest threat that? Because we have a lot of threats.
no, this is the biggest threat simply because of where our government is taking it.
Where are they taking it?
A great big centralized database that's not going to be in America.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what all these databases or data centers are for.
What do they process all the data and,
Yes.
and shrink it down and then
Yes.
send the results
Yes.
to somewhere else? What is there a name for this, or
It's
is this
called the Genesis Mission. Our
really they went and took the first book of the Bible and called it that?
Yeah. Our president signed a presidential executive order number 14363, where it takes. Here, I give you a copy.
No, I'm gonna look it up. I give EO 14663.
Yeah.
We're to the 14,000s. Or has that got dates in there somehow?
It has dates, and it was November 24th is when he signed it.
Last year?
25th, yeah, 25.
Okay.
So what it does is it directs the Department of Energy to accelerate AI-driven scientific discovery, and 17 different government agencies and private scientists. It's kind of like the Manhattan Project, where they brought everybody together to build the atom bomb.
Okay.
That's kind of what Genesis Mission is. And they're going to take control, or the AI software computer robot will be able to control all energy, water, cell phones, communications, trade routes, legal, financial, and we can
So
just
there is an effort to centralize
everything.
all the things that can be. Yeah, I'm looking at it. The Federal Register. The Genesis Mission was established under Executive Order 14363. It is officially titled, quote, Launching the Genesis Mission.
Mm-hmm.
We just got through, Ann, recommending the other day that maybe we should let Jethro go down by the water plant and turn on the valve himself and not be tied to the internet, which is the reason we have risk from other countries messing with our water supply and that kind of stuff.
Right.
And while we have that risk, we're launching the Genesis mission
Yes.
that wants to have a centralized computer, a lot of them, computer control of water, logistics, transportation,
Everything. Everything. Communication. Yeah. And here's the kicker. No humans needed. It turns it on. If something happens, say a national disaster or something, the AI software robot, whatever's in the machine, can determine whether he needs to take control and turn everything off, and whether he needs to take control, or her, because I don't, or it, when to turn it back on. And there will be, and it's going to be hardened. And those of you who deal with computers, hardened means a human cannot interfere.
Yeah, hardened means it's protected. So if you
Yes.
have to kill it off,
It ain't going to get killed. So that's what they're working on now. And the reason they need all these data centers is with the flock cameras, the Ring cameras, Axon, Motorola, cell phones, computers, biometrics, healthcare, financial, all of that information will begin to gather once they get the infrastructure in place. And it's going to take that much. Problem is, all of these data centers are going to be, they won't be any good in about 4 or 5 years because we'll be going up to the next level. So
That's funny. Who did I tell that to yesterday? Was it Brian yesterday that was in? That all this debate about data centers in the state, I still don't think we need them all, but we're going to give incentives. They're going to run power to them. They're going to do all this stuff. And then in 5 years, they'll probably be obsolete. But all the construction and everything where people really make their money
that's right.
is done. And the data collection, which is the master goal, is... Because we prostitute ourselves out. We don't care what you're doing with it. Just let me build it. Let me do the road for it.
That's
that
the
kind
most
of stuff.
hopeful explanation of the rush to get these things built.
Economic development
Explain some.
money,
Right.
big time. And if you remember when I talked about workforce, they need all the HVAC, all the tech people to go in to do the electrician wiring.
Yeah, but
trades.
that's done in a few months and you're done.
That's right.
It's not like it's a lifetime job.
That's right. So,
Tuberville did mention that, though, in the interviews I've read about touting why we need these and he's for it. Jobs creation, not buying it.
it only takes 15 or 20 people for 24 hours
Right.
because they run 12 it's 24/7. And the light pollution, the water.
So you're talking about 5-6 people there at a time,
just to make sure that.
and then you do it in shifts.
Yep,
And
yep.
wow,
So on September the 13th, Humans First is coming to, they say Bessemer. We're not really sure where they're going to be parked. But Amy Kramer, who was head of one of the biggest tea parties in Georgia, is bringing the bus tour. It's been going all over.
well, they didn't do a very good job of stopping it in Georgia.
No, but that was kind of the thing that started it, is because people need to realize that once this is completed, there are no humans needed. Kind of like Terminator. Yeah. So I'm where I live.
So how are they selling this, Ann?
Economic
it looks
development,
like,
great jobs.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about the Genesis mission.
Oh.
It looks like the goal, what they're claiming is, well, if we just had all this stuff, scientists would be able to do so much more. And since
right.
we'll be able to map this, the genome and that, and figure out that, we've got all the biometric data for everybody in the world. And so the computer can go through and say, oh, no, this used to take a long time, but we now know that billions of people who ate red-colored candies and then 5 years later ate a grape slushy and then washed it down with donuts, they all have the same brain damage. Therefore, we got to. I mean, that's what they're.
That's right.
That's the selling point, is it not?
Yes.
If we could just gather all the data, there would be nothing we couldn't figure out.
Well, it's not we. It's
They?
the computer.
Yeah.
The quantum AI computer person, artificial intelligence, whatever it is going to be,
Yeah.
is the one that's going to figure it for them.
And if it's reading, I mean, I don't see why there's any way possible that they don't think that the computers will eventually say humans are the problem.
Yeah. Well, they've already had 3 break out and hack into other computer systems when there was no connection.
Right. They didn't have any reason
They
to
had
be over
no
there.
connection to a computer to be able to get to where they got.
Well, how'd they get out then?
because of the modem. They found a loophole in one of the modems and went out through the modem and hacked
Why they
into.
let the darn thing have a modem?
I don't know. They were doing an experiment to see how far it could go. Well, it went way farther. All three of them. Don't tell me this. And it's just like I said. We must prepare for the prophetic times because they're coming.
I want to touch base because that's kind of new for you on the whole. Oh no, we're there.
We're there.
We got to take a break. We'll be right back.
Scott Beason, President, Recovering Politicians.
Beason show, you can learn things, and I appreciate that.
I appreciate that, Fred. Thank you.
But that's true, and I mean that. I'm not being sarcastic. I am serious.
We have to stop kowtowing to every little thing that they have said is bad and evil, and they don't get to decide what is right and wrong. I'll bank my money on what God, the creator of the universe, says is right and wrong. It's worked very well for Western society for 2 millennia, and we've got to get with it. Got to fight the fight. We got to get after it. It's ridiculous. I'm just tired of great Americans being ripped to shreds, history going away, and all of us cowering around because we're afraid somebody's going to call us a bad name. It is time to save the republic.
You're listening to Alabama Unfiltered Radio with Scott Beason. Unfiltered Radio.
Welcome back into the program, everybody. Alabama Unfiltered Radio. So give me some more.
So the government is going to be collecting all of this stuff to go into the total computer takeover of our lives. And they're working on 6G and 8G. Right now we have 5, but actually we have 6, but they haven't kind of released it. And they have 8G that they're ready, and they're testing it for geofencing for the 15-minute cities.
So geofencing now is, hey, who all's been inside this area in the last 24 hours?
Right.
Are you saying that geofencing is actually got that name because it will eventually be the boundaries of where your stuff works?
Right. And they can see through your walls and they can see what you're doing and they can read your brain patterns and your brain waves. And actually,
Now, see, people say, and
the
now.
Defense Department has something that can actually alter. They have that right now. It's called, they used it in, the Havana Syndrome. They can put voices in your head. Yeah. But, I'm not crazy.
So you really believe they can put voices in your head?
Yes.
Do they have to have done something to you to
Well,
make that happen? Like, did they
if
used to have to put a filling in your teeth or something like
exactly.
that? But what about now?
If you took the COVID shot, you have nanoparticles.
So you're already loaded up?
Yeah. They're putting them in our food, in our drinks, nanoparticles. They have a nanoparticle fog that they can drop from an airplane if they deem it necessary. Our government is a scary, scary thing.
How much do you believe that somebody like a Donald Trump knows that the Genesis mission? Now, I would argue that watching him during COVID, where he was like, hey, we got to save everybody. I got to have warp speed and all this kind of stuff. And look how fast they got this. And we're like, yeah, it was probably sitting on a shelf. Turns out that was right. And they come to him and say, look, with computers, everybody's doing this. We got to be ahead in AI. It's a national security issue. Look at all the scientific advancement we can have. Do you believe he's in on the deal or has bought into, like many Americans, hey, yeah, this will be great?
I wish I
Well,
could.
it'll be like Star Trek if we get. We'll be going. It'll be awesome.
Okay, you're a much more biblical scholar than I am.
Mm-hmm.
I get the whole discernment stuff, but I'm not real good with Bible study.
Mm-hmm.
He set up the Board of Peace, which are 10 members from the Middle East countries. His son-in-law, Jared Kushner, has the Gaza plan for the 8 15-minute cities and the displacement and then bringing them back and taking their land. And then he tries to buy the island in Albania, which controls the shipping coming out of the Mediterranean because of all the Russian equipment that was left there during whatever war that was. And the Gaza Strip will control the Middle East shipping. I wish I could answer the question of how much he knows and understands.
Right.
So you tell me, biblically, what's the Board of Peace?
Well, I hope it's not like the 10 crowns. But it's when you said 9, I'm like, I thought it was 10.
No, it's 10.
So I don't know. I don't know who they
either.
are.
I just know what my research has directed me to, and it ain't looking good.
So what I was going to ask you was, you have not. I've known you for a number of years. You've never really been, because a lot of folks in the evangelical world want to make every other day the end time. You know what I'm saying? And they've been doing that since the 80s, and maybe before that. It's always about to be next week. Jesus come back tomorrow, probably. And they sell a whole bunch of online sermons and take up a bunch of money and all that kind of stuff. And then there's the whole movement of, well, we don't have to do anything because Jesus is going to come back, and okay, great, it's all over with. But this is one of the first times that I've seen you like, hey, we're in prophetic end time kind of thing. So what has gotten you there? Because it used to just be, hey, look, they're up to bad stuff. We got to try to stop them. But now it's like, oh no, we're getting to the real revelation kind of stuff.
Here's my thing. We don't know when he's coming back.
Correct.
But if you look at what events have to happen before he comes back, we're headed down that path. Does
Even
that
if
happen?
even if there's some debate about some things, it does look like things are unraveling on an international,
yes,
global scale.
When you have a system that knows everything about everybody,
Yes.
and I'm talking total data control of even your DNA is sitting in a system somewhere.
Right.
What does the Antichrist have to have? A system that knows everything.
It's his best shot at omniscience.
Yes.
And his best shot at omnipresence when you're monitored at every single level.
So that I don't call it the
So you're
beast.
saying we are clearly setting up
Yes.
what some people would say is the Antichrist system.
Yes. The beast, the system that the beast in the end, yes. So there are people in the world now that are pushing to try to force the second coming.
Yeah. Oh, there's a couple of different groups that are really, really working at getting their guy to come, and their guy's the bad guy.
Yeah. So where is all of this coming from inside our government? It may very well be that. But if you look at the list of the signs that my ladies tell me, I'm like, when we get all that data in one place and we have no human control, what's going to happen?
Well, there'll be somebody controlling.
Yeah.
It may not be human control. I think that's a decent argument, is that, look, from a secular standpoint, all of us should be saying this is not good for freedom, liberty, just the future in general. And then for the people who look at it from through a spiritual lens, wow, we really are setting up what could never at one time have been envisioned. The ability for control that AI and computers, surveillance state is going to give someone is unbelievable. Yeah. And, I don't know why people don't have a problem with it, whether they're looking through a spiritual lens or not. This is not a good idea.
No, it's a terrible idea. And there's a lot of people who, my phone has been ringing off the hook.
Well, let's take a break. We need to, and we'll be right back.
Hear you.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering Politicians.
show, you can learn things, and I appreciate that.
I appreciate that,
And,
Fred. Thank you.
But that's true, and I mean that. I'm not being sarcastic. I am serious.
We have to stop kowtowing to every little thing that they have said is bad and evil, and they don't get to decide what is right and wrong. I'll bank my money on what God, the creator of the universe, says is right and wrong. It's worked very well for Western society for 2 millennia, and we've got to get with it. Got to fight the fight. We got to get after it. It's ridiculous. I'm just tired of great Americans being ripped to shreds, history going away, and all of us cowering around because we're afraid somebody's going to call us a bad name. It is time to save the republic.
You're listening to Alabama Unfiltered Radio with Scott Beason.
Yeah, I call him bipolar because on one hand he does great things, and on the other hand he's destroying the country. So which one is the real Trump?
Well, I don't know if I'm seeing a whole lot of great things for a while now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Scott Beason.
Yeah, what I want to chime in on, I agree with everything you're saying pretty much, and it's yeah.
Well, we appreciate you, Butterbean. Well,
Yeah.
I was listening to y'all, and I'm gonna give her the last word because I know we only got about a minute or so. So thanks, Butterbean. I appreciate it. And so what do we do?
Okay, so every Tuesday night at 7 o'clock on YouTube, it's Beneath the Surface if you want to hear more about it. I'm speaking at the gathering on August the 27th. I'm speaking in Trussville at the Civic Center on September the 10th, in North Jefferson at the Gardendale Civic Center on the 17th.
I'm glad you quit going around doing all those speaking.
And the West Alabama Republican Club in Northport on the 14th, and the rallies on the 13th. So y'all keep up with me.
All right. How much time we got, Scott? Time to say see you?
No, we've got a minute and 40
We
seconds.
got a minute and 40
Okay,
seconds.
I
Really?
can- and then, Scott, I understand you said I might be on a cruise this week.
Yeah.
I'm going on the cruise the 21st of September.
Of September.
Yes.
Okay. So we got a little while.
And then I'm not coming back until I may not be back the 30th because Heritage is having an event in Orlando. And when I get back into Miami, I'm flying to Orlando for the
So you
Heritage.
may just stay for that.
So, I'm definitely staying for
Okay.
that.
So you give us your whole schedule.
Yeah,
again
I'll have to give you my schedule.
next time. So we'll know where you are.
So if I'm in Gardendale, you going to come listen? I know better than to ask that.
Yeah, you're going to bring James with you, aren't you?
Yeah.
Bring James along.
We used to ask him to come to our meetings, and he would just look at me like, I don't want to get in the car.
We'll go anywhere. We'll go right in my house.
I'm going to go to
He's
the
got
house.
a good excuse. He turns everybody down.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's
He
no
does.
favoritism.
Except for I am going to be the MC at the Eagle Forum thing.
Well, I'm not going to be there probably.
Yeah, we'll see. Then I'm not coming to your
showed
thing.
you.
Okay.
Fine. Yeah, showed me.
Well, listen, if I come to your thing, will you come to mine? No.
No.
I know the answer to that.
Y'all be safe. Be good. We'll try to be back tomorrow. See y'all.